Greetings, Stash Wyslouch here. If you want to sign up for private lessons, send me an email. If you want to support the making of these videos, become a patron on my Patreon page. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, help this channel grow. Today I want to talk about voice leading. Master musicians like Michael Brecker are known to have spent hours just practicing one chord change, moving from one chord to the next, exhausting all its possibilities. My first question is, how do you spend hours on one chord change? It's just one chord change. Today's exercise will hopefully give you an idea on how you could spend a lot more time on one chord change and exhaust a lot more possibilities. So I want to take one chord change that's interesting. A G to a B. A G to a B7, we could be more specific. You might hear in the tune Old Home Place. It's been 10 long years since I left my home. So we're just going to focus, like an obsessive jazz musician, on one chord change, G to B7. We're going to pick a consonant structure on B and a consonant structure on G that sound good and imply the chord change. A G6 for the G and a B6 for the B. G6 is G, B, D, E, the 1, 3, 5, and 6. B6 is B, D sharp, F sharp, G sharp. Now, when we play the first structure, a G6, as this arpeggio, we could think of it as if we're playing the chord but broken up. So we have a low middle, a high middle, and a high voice. 4 different voices in a choir that have been broken up to sing the notes one after the other. Ba, 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 ba. So we're going to practice voice leading each one of these. What does that mean? We're going to pick one of the voices and we're going to move it as little as possible, either up, down, or not at all, so that it arrives at the closest note in the next structure, a B6. Here's what I mean. We play the first structure, G6, G, B, D, E. Then you're going to go and voice lead the lowest note, the G. For starters, up. What's the closest note up from this G that's in the next chord, B6? It's a G sharp. So we're going to play that. G, B, D, E, G sharp. It's a nice melody. So when I'd hear that out of nowhere, I'd think, how did the player decide to come up with that interval down a minor 6 to a G sharp? And this process of voice leading each individual voice starts to shine some light on that. Now we're going to look at the low middle voice. That one's actually contained in the structure, so we can just return to that same voice. How about the high middle voice, the D? The closest note up in the next structure in the B6 is a D sharp. Let's listen to that. Let's look at the high voice, the E. The next note in our B6 structure from the E up is an F sharp. So here we have 4 interesting options. So why is this interesting? Well, it gives me some new intervallic possibilities through this lens of harmonic voice leading. That's 4 distinct shapes. Here's an example of how to use that. Let's say I like that first iteration where that low voice is moving up to the G sharp. So I could start with my melody. It's been 10, and then 4 eighth notes before I switch to that B chord, I'm going to do my little structure with the voice leading. It's been 10. It's been 10. And then I can move back to my melody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. It's been 10. just chose two specific structures, a G6 and a B6. We could do a G7 and a B7 and come up with all sorts of other cool options too. So let's voice a G7 to a B7 in the same way, with our low, low middle, and high voice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that last little option where the high voice moves from an F to an F sharp. It's been 10. And just to really hammer it home, after you land on that note of the next structure, you could hit the other 3 notes in the structure to really open it up. It's been 10. Ooh, I like that as a little melody. There's some ideas on voice leading, which could lead to some new intervallic, new melodic possibilities for you. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for becoming a patron. We'll see you next time.